Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. The moment of silent reflection. Let us take a moment of silent reflection to contemplate in our own way the responsibilities we have to collectively use our skills and experience to ensure the mutual long-term benefit of our municipality and those we represent. Also, we'd take another short moment of silence to think of our neighbors to the south, as this being 9/11. Could I have the roll call, please?
Mayor Reed.
Present.
Councillor Chartrand, he is delayed and will be here as soon as possible. Councillor McKay.
Present.
Councillor Rose.
Present.
And Councillor Villeneuve.
Here.
Disclosure of pecuniary interest, general nature thereof.
We forgot the recital of the municipal.
Oh, sorry, I jumped ahead. Okay. I'd ask Councillor McKay if she'd recite the municipal vision and mission statements, please.
HCM mission, at your service, working effectively to bring together people, partnerships, and potential for a strong, connected community. HCM vision, providing a healthy, connected, and sustainable community teeming with possibilities for our citizens now and into the future.
Thank you. Disclosure of pecuniary interest or general nature thereof. Move on to deputations, presentations. We have the residents from Harvey Creek Road to do a presentation, please. Is there any one person?
Mr. Cody.
Mr. Cody? Yeah.
And we have a microphone here, unfortunately.
I don't think I need a microphone, to be honest with you.
Members of our normally appreciate it.
Okay. Well, I'm here to speak tonight on this ridiculous resolution that you guys passed on June the 20th. Starting this, providing access to the Ottawa River by the public along this road, widening access and creating parking spots for the public. I came here with an argument, but I'm understanding that there was a phone call made to my neighbor, kind of changing what this resolution was. So maybe I could ask Mrs. McKay to provide some clarity on this.
I didn't change any
You
resolution.
didn't change? Okay,
No.
perfect then. I don't know what you people are doing. First of all, I'm really upset. I asked a question last Wednesday of all of you. When something like this is being proposed, is it not proper, professional consideration given to us people on Harvey Creek to have a voice in this? All of you said, yes, we should have been consulted. One lady actually said that she phones everybody individually, but we never got that phone call.
You
This
don't
is
have a
just-
phone number.
Pardon me?
I couldn't find a phone number anywhere on
On
internet.
anybody, you couldn't
anywhere.
find a phone number
Google.
for anybody on Harvey Creek?
I did phone a lot of people on Harvey Creek Road today, actually, and stopped by and visited some people. I was at your house. You have two really nice dogs.
Yeah, they can't talk. Anyways, let's talk about this. What I see here is just you're opening up a major can of worms and allowing, all this is gonna do is allowing more people access to go down and drink and do drugs and throw their garbage on the road that we pick up, then try to get back onto Highway 17 and possibly get run over by a transport driving down that highway. But I really don't know what the purpose is of doing this. You have a park, you have a boat launch. I'm not understanding why you're gonna go to a residential area and open this up. I just don't understand it. I know that our neighbors don't understand it. I bought up here for a little peace and quiet. We already have enough vehicles going down that road as it is. And to open this up for more public is absolutely ludicrous. Based on the population you have in this township, you've got a boat launch, you've got a park. I'm just not understanding what this is gonna provide in any way, shape, or form. And I know my neighbors are of the same opinion, but I guess I also don't understand why. And again, we're here tonight. We should have known about this in June when you guys were thinking about doing this. So this is all I've got to say. I'm hoping that, I know you have apparently one more council meeting before the election, that this can be readdressed and hopefully rescinded to allow us to, again, I walk down to the end of that road and continually pick up garbage and beer cans. And doing what you're suggesting here makes absolutely no sense.
So is
I'm
this,
hoping
sorry,
that you people will reconsider, retable this, and give us what we thought we owned. You're gonna devalue our properties doing this. I can't see anything positive coming out of this resolution at all. And according to my neighbor, and I wish she were here, because what you apparently told her in secondhand, so I'm not even gonna say, is totally different than what I'm reading. And maybe she's wrong. Okay? So all I've got to say.
No, I can answer one thing a little bit. Dated August the 9th, 2006, to the Council of the Corporation of Head Clara, Mariah, end of Harvey Creek Road. We would appreciate Council's attention to a situation that has resulted in the closing off of township property at the end of Harvey Creek Road. There is a barrier in place and no trespassing sign that has closed the access to the Ottawa River that has been used by residents for many years. We request that Council provide clarification as to what is or not township property. We request Council provide us with information defining the rights to access as we, the township residents, have to the Ottawa River at the end of Harvey Creek Road. Provided that the township residents, we have the right to access and use the Ottawa riverfront at the end of Harvey Creek Road. And we ask the township restore the access we have had used for many years in the past. Yours truly, Darlene Saki, Marion and Gerald Sharput, Shep, I'll get it right. Beth, and I can't read the last name.
Reljak.
Okay, and Vic.
Reljak.
Yeah, I can't read your writing, or their writing. And I think it's Mike Penny?
Yeah.
Okay, and Les and Lynn Solms,
Yeah.
Harvey Creek Road. So, I understand what you're saying, but I also understand that every resident in this letter asked for it to be reopened again.
Access for what purpose? You can't get a boat in, it's too
I
shallow,
don't
too
know.
rocky.
They're
There's
the
no
ones,
beach.
they're the ones that asked for it to be
Okay,
reopened.
they can ask. I can ask for a lot of things too.
Yeah.
But at some point in time, there's gotta be some dialogue about it.
It was asked so that someone could walk their dog down there, if I'm not mistaken.
So I talked to a few residents today, yesterday, and so long as it's not a boat launch, like a big boat launch, and as long as there's some way of the garbage being picked up, they have no problems with trail being open so people have access to walk down there. That's what I was told by a few of your residents. Some said, no, we don't want a trail, because one gentleman mentioned that there's a ditch that was dug at the end where the trail used to go, and if that ditch is filled in, then his basement floods. But mostly people were as long as the garbage was kept cleaned up, so there wasn't an issue with bears, and there wasn't a big boat launch with lots of land cleared for parking, whatever was there already, and a trail, they were fine with.
And that's all dated in another letter, Friday, September 8th, 2006. This access is not meant to be a boat launch of any sort, not in the past nor in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So, Mayor Reed, if I may.
Yep.
So this letter that both of you are talking about, these were dated 2006.
I stated.
Are
that.
any of these residents in this petition still living there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many?
Three
Four
or
that I
four?
can see, yeah.
Plus, I've talked to some today and yesterday who live there now.
Well, so this whole petition that was submitted by myself on behalf of Pat
And some of those
Charbonneau
people that are on
are
your
the people who
petition
live-
are the ones that I've
I'm
talked to that
Mayor
are
Reed,
okay with
I'm
it.
speaking.
Yes, go ahead.
So there is a petition signed by the residents of Harvey Creek Road now. There's also a letter dated Wednesday, August 15th of this year to Mr. Pat Charbonneau that I included with the petition that I sent in to the clerk. It's not included. Pat, would you mind sharing this information? It should have been in the package anyway.
I have no problem.
It has come to the attention of municipal administration that over the years you have continued to groom the unopened road allowance adjacent to your property on Harvey Creek Road in Mackay by cutting grass and creating a lawn. It is our understanding that you've been using municipal property despite the letter sent in 2006, a copy of which is enclosed for your reference. Please be advised that the use of municipal property by a private property owner is not permitted. Further, this situation has been brought to our attention due to a recent decision by council to provide access to the Ottawa River by the public along this unopened road allowance. Please be advised that municipal staff and contractors will be working in this municipal property in the near future as per the decision of council made at their meeting on Tuesday, June 20th, to widen the access and create a parking spot for the public. A copy of the resolution has been copied and pasted below for your information. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me, and it is signed by the clerk. This letter was sent to Pat on the 15th of August from a decision made on the 20th of June, with work scheduled to proceed probably by the time this meeting occurred tonight.
Does it say that in the letter?
Has it been
That the
done?
work's
It says-
going to occur before
Please-
this meeting?
Pardon?
Does it say in the letter that work's
No,
going
it
to?
does not.
So then you're assuming.
Well, you have a very small construction period.
So I'm saying that some of the people who signed your petition, I talked to.
It's not my
and-
petition.
Well, you said you brought it on behalf of the Harvey Lake petition. We're led to believe that there would be a boat launch going in, a big boat launch with a large parking area.
And a park.
And a park was another one. So once they were reassured that we had no plans to do a big boat launch, park, or anything other than the parking that's there and a trail down, so long as they're concerns about garbage, the ditch being filled, that was one concern because of the flooding basement. Then they would be fine with a trail, not a boat launch, not a park,
Trails.
A trail.
People could walk down there.
yes.
Can I ask what the cost of this, that you're gonna think of spending this money, what would be a approximate cost to do this?
I have no idea what it
So
would
you've
cost.
not checked
Read? If I could, it was brought to council in the budget when this was decided, and it was estimated by our road super that it would cost less than $2,500.
Mayor Reed, if I may, the resolution in this bylaws 2018 operating budget states, utilize funds to create roadway access to the end of Harvey Creek roads for resident access to the Ottawa River.
That doesn't say boat launch.
But it talks about, to me, it says a road to
There's
the
parking.
end of Harvey Creek Road. There's already a road and a turnaround on Harvey Creek Road. This says access to the end of Harvey Creek Road.
That is the end of Harvey Creek Road where the turnaround is.
It would be cleaning up whatever road allowance was left there.
It's not clear, not to me.
Semantics.
The amount of people you're talking about here,
Yes.
If I could, it was clear to staff. Staff understood what was happening.
Well, I thought it was clear at the time.
I think you're making a mistake. I think for the minimal amount of people, we see what's there now at 11 o'clock at night, the way they go by. And they're down there for one reason, that's to drink and to throw their crap around. And I know Mr. Charbonneau's already lost things on his property. And I'll say it again, this, for the amount of people you're talking about, it's a residential area. It's been that way. I'm disputing what you're saying about you've talked to people that are for this. Totally disagree. But anyways, that's all I've got to say. I thank you, and I hope I get a letter at some point saying that it's squashed.
Thank you, Mr. Cote.
I suggest that we have some sort of resolution prepared for the next meeting, whether we're gonna continue with this or not, or do we need that?
There's no new information
Yeah.
that's been provided. There's really no reason for council to reconsider. Aside, obviously, some people don't want it, some people do.
And the rumor went around that it was a boat launch and gonna be a park and everything else. I heard that right here in the washroom at the meeting. I don't know where that idea come from, who started it, why, whatever.
Well, I may have said that there may be a garbage can and
I think a garbage
A place to
can,
park, yeah.
preferably a bear-proof garbage can would be a solution to the garbage, hopefully.
So how does council want to proceed with this? Are we just going to take it as information for the time being?
Well,
sorry.
sorry, Mr. Mayor Reed. I certainly wouldn't want to see work start or proceed without direction from council.
Well,
Which
council
was
has
the
already given
resolution.
the direction.
But we have an
But do we
unhappy
stop?
ratepayer.
Yeah, do we stop
So-
it or do we continue?
So I think we need to maybe address some of the issues that the residents had.
Why not a
Maybe look into
stakeholders
the-
meeting?
The ditch issue for sure, because if that's gonna cause flooding. Though there's a ditch there that I guess the township put, I don't know, I'm not clear on who dug the ditch.
actually goes across the township road allowance, and I've spoken with Terry about it, and he's understanding. I appreciate that you have some ratepayers who are upset, but you also need to consider it was a ratepayer who requested
Yeah,
this access.
and whether it's brought into question, I did talk to residents today, yesterday, last night. Today on my way to the meeting, I stopped in and there were people on that road who are also in favor of it, but their concerns have to be addressed. The garbage, the, was one of the ones, and yeah, the ditch. So that was basically all that was brought up to me, so.
I would suggest a ratepayers meeting, stakeholders meeting. Have the people from Harvey Creek come and sit with, and we come to a resolution. You know, we have an unhappy stakeholder. I mean, we've moved mountains for other residents that were unhappy with issues,
Yep,
so we can't dismiss that.
so we'll consider it tabled for the time being and direct staff to get a hold of everybody from Harvey Creek Road and set up some kind of a meet.
Do you feel that's fair,
That way
Mr.
there's
Cote?
no more he said, she said.
Can you give me that again? I'm sorry, I didn't hear what he said.
That we'd like to suggest a stakeholders meeting. Let's contact all the people on Harvey Creek Road. Let's bring everybody to the table. Let's have a sit down and let's come to
That's fair.
an agreement. You know, you're
That should
obvious,
have maybe been done back in June. But, I mean, yes.
but let's get this sorted out. You're obviously unhappy. And like I said, we've moved mountains for other residents that were unhappy about issues. So let's come to
You know,
an agreement on this.
And I appreciate that. I'd like to know with this list that I'm seeing that everybody signed.
Well, I'm looking at it too, and I'm like, okay, there's
And
a
all of a
few
sudden that-
common names, but so let's have everybody at the table and let's talk.
Good. Okay, Pat?
Is that good for you, Pat?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
So we'll arrange a date in the future. Moving on, we have Peggy Young Lovelace and Paul, am I gonna get this right, Kassan? Okay, from EM4 and Wishart Municipal Group. They're going to address the,
Your meeting?
no?
No, that was my,
Oh, okay.
error.
I am
They
sorry.
are going to address council, but it's going to be further on when
Oh,
the
okay,
issue
so
that they're reporting.
It's not
is.
under the deputies and
Yes.
things? Okay. All right, moving along. I'm just following what's in front. Adoption of minutes previous meeting. Council meeting, regular meeting, Tuesday, June the 12th, 2018.
So, I do have, comments on that meeting, just let me find it here. Anyway, it talks about that I didn't declare, hang on, where is? Here we go. So, number 13, note, Councillor Villeneuve did not leave the council table to attend closed session, but did not declare a pecuniary interest. The audio file will show that the clerk declared a conflict based on information from the integrity commissioner, and also that any individual who is a party to the same issue should not be involved. She designated her authority to the administration assistant. I said that that person was also involved. The clerk stated, "So are you?" And I said, "I don't intend to go and sit there." So it was very clear that I had a conflict. I didn't need to declare it. It was declared for me, and it's certainly not pecuniary. Second part of this, at the very end in the other clerk's notes, when Councillor Villeneuve's vote was called, he stated, "I have a conflict." Councillor Villeneuve did not declare a pecuniary interest as per council procedures and did not leave the council table. I would refer you to 25.9 and 25.10 of our procedure bylaw, where it says, yes, you can refuse to vote and it will be determined as a no vote, but again, it mentions nothing about pecuniary interest, and I do not have one. So I'd like all references to pecuniary interest deleted from that report.
you had no pecuniary interest, so there was no reason you shouldn't have voted.
I had a conflict of interest, not a pecuniary interest. There's a difference.
So you changed pecuniary to conflict.
Absolutely. Had nothing to do with money.
So, you changed that?
No?
Reed, I would suggest that if Councillor Villeneuve wants this discussed in further detail, that it be referred to the closed session to occur later,
Okay.
and perhaps we can have our legal counsel address.
Okay. There will be a closed session later on, so we'll defer passing the minutes for the time being. We've got no choice.
No.
We can't accept them the way they are, so, or we can, but
You can.
we can make it an adoption later on, I guess. How do you want to proceed with this? Do you want to accept the minutes the way they are? And then we'll, after consultation with the legal advice, we'll make amendment to it if we have to.
Yeah.
So all in favor?
Yes.
What is the question? Sorry?
We're going to adopt this the way it reads, and after talking with legal counsel, then if we have to make an adjustment to the minutes, we will.
So I did mention that this is in the audio file.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay?
So I'm voting no.
Okay. So we need a recorded vote, please.
Councillor Chartrand?
Yes.
Councillor McKay?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes.
Councillor Rose?
No.
Councillor Villeneuve?
No.
So I did have one other thing about the minutes. I just realized it through all that. Can I still bring it up? Okay. So on number 5 of the minutes, we had the Deep River District Hospital. Here is a deputation, and afterwards it was brought to my attention by a resident that he felt we, council and staff, were rude and unprofessional because we didn't offer Ashley, the representative from the hospital, the use of the projector for her presentation. I informed him that Melinda had made the offer and that Ashley had declined, but just to be sure of that, I did contact Ashley when I was at a meeting with her later, and she did confirm that they were offered the projector and they declined. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody knew that, because I'm sure everybody got the part about where we didn't offer the projector or the but probably and microphones, but probably didn't get the part where we had but she declined.
Moving on to special meeting Wednesday, June the 20th, 2018. I guess they are just taken as read because there's no motion. So,
All three are together.
are together, yeah.
June 20th,
And the 24th.
July 24th.
July the 24th. Anything further on those? Minutes included for information. Library Board, June 12th, 2018. Recreation Committee, June 20th, 2018. And July 2018. Is
So
there
I
any-
don't
there's no
have-
I
date
don't
on that?
have,
I don't have the library board for June 12th or the rec committee for July 2018. I looked online and they weren't there
The only
either.
one that's there is June 20th, the others weren't available. I haven't received them.
Okay, they haven't been printed yet?
No,
no, she hasn't received them.
Okay.
and I was just in a hurry and forgot to remove them from there.
Okay, so we'll have to strike them for now,
It's just information
Yeah.
that'll be in the next package.
but we'll get them.
Yep.
Okay. Just verbally, we'll let you know that I've attended county council as well as health committee and social service committee for county.
Mayor Reed, is that under the staff report part where you have your mayor's report or under 6?
No, just under general information.
So you will be talking about the county report then in 8?
There is actual no county report, but I will mention it again if I need to, yes.
So I would like to add a little bit to the county report if I need to wait till number 8,
Yeah.
or can I do it now?
No, we'll wait till we get there.
Perfect.
Petition and correspondence. So we have our correspondence, we also have a late one.
So Mayor Reed, I'd like to make a few comments on the petition in support of the rail bed, if I may.
Go ahead.
It's been a long time coming. So I'm sure there's 104 people who signed a petition last spring and summer that are wondering what happened to it. I offered to show it to council at the October council meeting where a vote was taken on the use of the rail bed. Mayor Reed stated, I have no need to see it. Councillor Chartrand stated, I looked at it at Rogers, and there's a bunch of out-of-town non-ratepayers on it, so it doesn't mean much. These are in the audio files from that meeting. Since I am not the owner of the petition, I was not given permission to show it to the Integrity Commissioner. This led to the following conclusion in his Code of Conduct report. The mayor's view was that the 6 households being directly affected were more important to his understanding and consideration of the issue than 90 part-time residents of campgrounds who use the campground to snowmobile. He believed his obligation was to ratepayers, not visitors. On August 13th, I did receive permission from the owner of this petition, and that is why it's appearing now for consideration.
Mayor Reed, I'd like to call a point of order. Councillor Villeneuve is reading information from the report of the harassment investigator.
Yeah.
Which is
that's-
public knowledge.
That's not allowed.
No.
It's not
No,
harassment,
it's not.
this is
No.
not harassment report, this is the code of conduct, and it is published online, it is on our website. It was in the HCM newsletter, so it is not confidential information.
That's, no. That's not right.
Well, we can discuss this in our closed session coming up. I will state exactly what I stated then, for anybody that didn't hear me. 6 ratepayers have the rights not to have those sleds going past their homes if they so think that it's arbitrary to their life.
So why would it?
So why would I worry about a petition of 92 names of part-time residents that live in campgrounds when our own residents are saying, no, This bothers us. It's gonna change our lifestyle. I'm here to represent the full-time residents and the part-time residents, yes. But there's not one side against one side. It was stated to me, you're the one that opened this can of worms. It was stated to me that the campgrounds and Raj's store were way more important than 6 residents. As the head of council, I don't see it that way. I see my residents counting. Doesn't matter whether it's a snowmobile club, a fire department, a ball game. You guys can keep this going around in circles for the next 10 years. I don't really care. But I will always defend my residents. Because you're the one that said, oh, well, Mayor Reed said he doesn't care, he doesn't want to listen.
Mayor Reed, can I comment?
No, we're going to stop this right now. This is just ongoing, and this is the whole reason everybody's here, is to listen to arguments over the snowmobile trail. Tell me it's not. Okay, but in the beginning, that's where it came from.
There's
Yeah.
90 residents, they're not campgrounds.
Okay.
90
But anyway,
residents.
we're going to close that issue off right now.
Mayor Reed, I would like to make one last comment.
No, I think you're done. Moving on to the rest of the correspondence. And if I lose support, I lose support. But my residents are important.
If,
Anything?
can we not have comments from the people in the audience? It's supposed to be a council meeting.
I believe the mayor asked the question of the audience.
I asked no
No,
question
you
of the
didn't.
audience. Anyways, is there anything in the regular correspondence that is worth bringing to attention? Everybody's heard that County of Renfrew's changed, they've hired their new clerk. What,
Number 3, if nobody has one before that.
No, I don't.
So I listened to this lady for 20-some minutes on CBC. Her son, if I get this wrong, I'm sorry, is in his 20s or 30s. Has the mind of a 6 to 8-year-old. They're asking for support here, but so if he's not there making $2 an hour, he's at home and she has to find something for him to do. He really enjoys what he does. As far as the other person here, I'm not sure. I haven't been able to find anything on him. But it gives him something to do. He admits himself, his mother admits he doesn't put out the output that $15 an hour should pay for. And I don't know, they're just using this to try to bring everybody up to an equal wage, which, you know, this guy obviously can't put out the production that would be expected. But he enjoys what he does and it gets him out of the house, so. And I
So they're
believe
looking
she's
for-
filing a lawsuit against the government to
Have him exempt from the
have him
minimum
exempt,
wage?
yeah.
Okay.
One size doesn't fit all the time.
No.
so what are you asking for, a letter of
That's
support?
support?
For her, not for these people here. They figure everybody's the same, so what's gonna happen is the community living people here are gonna say, sorry, we can't afford to pay you that for what you do, so they're gonna go and hire somebody else to do his job, and then what's he gonna do?
So you
He's in
wanna,
his 20s or 30s. I mean, he's happy doing what he's doing, and
We can create a report for the next meeting if
Yeah.
that's what council.
she's actually been on a couple of times, and she's dead set against this.
Number 6, the Ontario's Green Energy Act. I was just wondering if we could get a little more information on what this, they're asking that the municipal governments have been removed from having any meaningful input in these green energy projects, and legal agreements between the municipalities and green energy companies cannot guarantee the future safeguards needed to protect lower tier governments from financial exposure if green energy companies forfeit their responsibilities. So I'm just looking for a little more information on that. In a report.
Yeah, I can contact them and get
Yeah,
their staff report.
just to see
for
what
next
they're
meeting.
saying, because it seems to me it's like we're going to be held responsible or
That's what they're
inherit.
expecting
Yeah.
is going to happen.
So I'd like to get some more information on that.
Okay.
That's it for me.
Anything else? Late one,
Oh.
I think maybe we should,
Yes.
the letter.
In support.
Paramedic services of Ontario are not considered an essential service, like fire and police services, and whereas paramedic services across Ontario operate under the Ambulance Services Collective Bargaining Act of 2001, allowing a reduction in paramedic services to 75%, the Essential Services Act. So Glengarry is looking for support.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they are fighting about this with the city of Ottawa and the province also, because when ambulance, say, leaves Deep River and takes a patient to Ottawa,
Yeah, I've got a report on
they're,
that for the,
okay, yeah, they're
for the-
required to do a call, even if it's in the city of Ottawa. Meanwhile, people up here are without an
Yes.
ambulance.
So, yeah. So if it was considered an essential service.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that wouldn't necessarily be the case.
But if Bob's got something on that later, we can.
just from Chief Nolan, that's all.
Okay.
So with this, are we a letter of support for South Glengarry, or is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, I
Yes.
would think a
Yes.
letter of support, yes. So we all have the copies of the two petitions. Move on to staff reports, please.
So if you review, or if you reviewed what's in on the page, I'm not gonna go through it word by word, it's pretty self-explanatory. Some of the meeting follow-ups, I've changed, as you may have noticed, the report to council. The template's been modified in some respects. Earlier in 2018, we discussed naming a private road off Adler Road for 911 purposes, and I've been discussing this with the the GIS people from the county, and they've suggested that the way we deal with this, instead of naming their lane as a road, is simply treat it as an extra long driveway. So what they've recommended is we just add a 911 number off of there, so it's like a long driveway off of Adlard Road instead.
So instead of having the Adlard sign with the one on,
That's right.
Yeah.
There'll be a number off of Adlard as opposed to another road intersecting with Adlard. So unless council sees a reason why we shouldn't do that, that's the way we're going to proceed.
the only thing I would ask
Mhm.
is that there are a couple of property owners on that road. If we maybe contact them and see how they feel about just, because you're gonna sort of negate the Adlard sign altogether, right? By putting the 911 sign out at the highway, treating it as a
No.
private
No.
road.
No, the Adlard light
It's
sign
it's all the way in, like 4 or 5 kilometers in on Adlard.
Yeah.
You'll have another one, that'll be number 53
Okay.
or something. So
Yeah.
where the
Okay.
road goes in, it will be similar to your driveway,
Okay.
that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Just trying to the blue box information that was in your package. I'm going to be attending the AMCTO zone meeting later this week. Municipal insurance policy has been renewed up from the liability general from 25 million to 50 at a cost for about $1,500. Otherwise, the policy actually decreased by approximately $50. We have some issues about the boat launch, but I think we've talked about how we're going to fix those for the short term and amend it next year. Elections, I've been trying to keep council and candidates apprised of questions, concerns. Anything that's brought to me is shared equally and then posted also on the municipal website so that everybody has access to the same information. Staff have been hired. We've scheduled training for the advanced poll and the election. I have not been able to get our YouTube updated. Again, we still have connectivity challenges. Some of these files, depending on how big they are, they'll take probably 45 to 50 minutes and then it'll crash and you have to start over again. So it's kind of dropped off the radar just because we've been so busy with other things. Something that I've added, and I left this on your table earlier, we've learned that Noella will likely be away for some time now. It's already been 6 months, and we've had to make some steps into moving forward without her for the short term, or for the long term. We really don't know when. So Peggy has actually come down to help with some accounting. That's why she was here last week and again tomorrow. And Peter Harrington, who you've all met as our auditor,
Yeah.
his office has been helping Crystal to get through a lot of what she's needed to do. She's been dealing with the regular accounting, but we need some assistance on taxation reports and month-end reports and year-end reports and things she's never done before. So she's doing well with that. Number 2, and I scribbled this down afterwards, the 2019 budget we're hoping to get into as soon as we get this system caught up. And I know we don't know who will be at this table, but especially while you're campaigning, I'm sure you're hearing different things that are of concern to people, so please pass those on so that we can create a budget report or a list of recommendations and suggestions to bring to council later. And this is an error on my part. We, last when Peggy and Paul were here, we discussed having a training tomorrow evening, and it completely fell off my radar. So we can speak about it after the council meeting, but we're hoping we can be able to arrange that and just try to determine a time. And I think that's all I have, unless somebody has questions.
I have a couple of questions. Number 6 from residents, we had complaints about bears and Deux Rivières boat launch. Is that post barbecue?
I believe it was prior to
Okay, because they're asking for more bear
proof bin.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that was that was covered, because that was brought up to us that day.
So what was happening, there were actually some of those other recycling bins that are just containers, and people were putting their waste in it, so they've all been
I
removed.
saw that day.
So the only thing that's there are the bear-proof bins,
Okay.
and apparently
Yeah.
even one of those is damaged. So if council wants to consider that, that would be a budget item, because I believe by the time we order and install them, they're $1,000.
They said the one that they had was not enough.
Yeah.
It was overflowing, it wasn't, so.
That's because while we were there, we watched vehicles pull in off the highway and throw their garbage in there.
Yeah.
But this was coming from longtime residents, you know, complaining that this has been an ongoing issue, so. I'm just wondering, the training tomorrow night, just a question, will that be offered to the candidates?
Yes.
That's all I have.
So I have a question. Under number 4, the grant application updates. Apparently we have potential for $1.9 million of approved funding, but we don't have any qualified projects.
Correct.
So has anybody looked at potential work on the rail bed as a use for that $1.9 million of funding?
It doesn't qualify. It's for municipal infrastructure, and trails does not qualify.
Thank you.
Okay, you're
Sorry.
gonna cover the webinar?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I realized I had a second one. This was quite a little while ago that I took this. And again, because the legislation keeps changing in the fire marshal's office and emergency management, I wasn't sure that this applied to us or not, so I did sit in on it while I was doing other work in my office. As it turns out, most of this is beyond us, except that we will need to work on the community risk assessment, and we need to make it a little more formal and a little more of a proper review. Bob Labra, who is our community fire safety officer, he is generally trained on some of these other issues. Number 3, OREG 37918 is certification for firefighters, so that didn't apply to us at all. But the other two, the public reports doesn't apply either, because that's, again, response time for firefighters, that sort of thing. So it's basically number 2 that's going to have an effect on us, and Bob and I will make sure that we're compliant with the new legislation.
Thank you. Treasurer's report, none. Mayor's report, verbal. I've already mentioned the fact that I attended county council for the council meeting and for the 2 health meeting and committee meeting. Now, to get into a little bit of the first question was about the ambulances. The days of ambulances passing county residents and heading to Ottawa to service them are over. Chief Nolan has somehow worked things out that they will not cover Ottawa ambulance anymore. So I guess everybody's aware of what happened in the spring, that 5 ambulances drove by that accident in Arnprior, and not one stopped because they're all on Ottawa calls. So that's a thing of the past. They're putting 2 new ambulances into service as well, and looking at a pilot project of maybe taking the old ambulances and making them into community service vehicles. So I don't know. That's just in the works. So I don't know if that answers your question, Calvin, but
Yep.
it's been an ongoing problem, because when the province dictated the fact that it's got nothing to do with how far away you are, it's need of service, right? And Ottawa was using that to their advantage. And when a letter went to Mayor Watson, he sort of said, so what? We're not paying you. So that should be over now. Ernie, you had a question?
Not a question, just a comment, actually. So I had the pleasure of attending the last county meeting, and
I know you were there, yes.
there were a lot of positive comments made about the use of the rail bed where it's been fully enforced as a multi-use trail. There were positive comments made from women with strollers.
Do you actually have a question for me, or
No,
is this a rant?
I said
Or is
I
this
just
a
wanted
rant?
to make a comment.
Okay, well,
Save it for your campaign.
Pardon?
yeah.
Save it
Well,
for your campaign.
We don't need that right at the moment.
Well, I would think that would be fairly good news coming from county.
Not for the people that are opposed.
Oh, thank you.
Administration Assistant Report.
So since my last report to council, I have completed all the hazardous waste claims for rebates through the stewardships and confirmed a date for next year's event. I assisted with Canada Day planning and execution. I've been working on the 3 grants that we currently have running, the Healthy Kids Grant, Ontario Seniors Community Grant, and the New Horizons for Seniors grant. That was the capital one for the exterior upgrades and the air conditioning. I updated the website to include more information on our lending hub, which is through the Healthy Kids. I've been reviewing election documents and information. I uploaded tax rates into Okta, processed and mailed out all tax bills, created the automatic withdrawal files, and processed all tax payments and deposits. I've been working on year-end adjusting entries, and I'm working with Peggy and the auditor, Peter Harrington, to have 2017 year-end completed. Started the process of tax sales with the assistance of Peggy. I submitted the 2 applications for funding under New Horizons for Seniors program. I spent quite a bit of time when the forest fires were still active, working with M&R to provide updates to the public, including making a new page on the website to have all the information there as well. I'm working with Stephanie to have training on office duties, recreation, bar inventory, and then just completing regular, Noella's regular duties and general office duties.
Now, going back to item 12, Crystal, when you say about the Clough Park shelters, we're talking like trying to put up a small covered gazebo or
Yes,
something of that nature?
yeah, exactly. And for like a cement pad so that we can have picnic tables underneath.
For when we do a function down there, that we've got something
Yes.
to work with. Because the biggest thing I noticed at that free barbecue from the Deer River people is we get nothing,
No?
you know? We're forgotten about. So it's time, now they have asked if we could put an office down there, but that's impossible. But it's time to include Deer River as well.
There was some mention of maybe bringing a brush hog in, because apparently all that brush there, that's all flat land. If we come in,
Yeah,
A
well,
lot of people are having a lot of difficulty hearing what's being said. These speakers aren't working, and we can't understand. Thank you.
thanks, Mr. Gibson.
so that'll work, so.
So yeah, if we could consider maybe getting a brush hog in there and cleaning up some of the brush and making more ground.
Mayor, we can ask a question, how many people attended?
If you were there, you would have known that.
It was
Over 30.
Over 30, yeah. Most of them were residents. We did get a few people that came off the highway to use the washrooms, and they were really impressed with, you know, that there was this barbecue going on basically in the middle of nowhere. And the residents were really, I mean, they came early, stayed late, and lots to say and lots of positive comments. So it was well worth.
A lot of good feedback.
Yeah.
So, Councillor Rose, I'm not allowed to be there.
Why aren't you allowed to be there?
Look in your council minutes, you'll see the sanctions placed on me by this council. and you're
Yes,
not.
okay. Sorry, Mr. Villeneuve, Councillor Villeneuve, you're right.
Move along to the financial reports. I don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it.
It's in the,
It's in the green to the back.
Oh. Okay. Not
My
in
mistake.
order.
I keep forgetting we changed colors. Resolution number 1109-18002. Moved by Councillor Rose, seconded by Councillor McKay. Check log. Be it resolved that the check log for January the 1st, 2018 to September the 18th, or September the 7th, 2018, totaling $739,246.23 be accepted as presented. Any question?
That's the green one?
So I have a question on the drain hall. What was that for? It seems like a,
That's the spring cleanup, where you bring all the hazardous materials and stuff. That's what that was,
Hazardous waste days.
at the dump. They collect all the hazardous waste in the townships once a year. You take your stuff there, you dump it, there's a charge for that.
thank you.
Anything further? All in favor?
yes.
Carried. Resolution 1109-18003. Moved by Councillor McKay, seconded by Councillor Rose. Income statement. Be it resolved that the income statement from January 1st, 2018 to September the 7th, 2018 be accepted as information as presented.
Marie, if I might make a comment, the reason that resolution says as information is because it's a work in progress. So Crystal and Peggy just worked on it last week and had an input, so it's not 100% accurate to date. But the budget is corrected now. There needs to be adjusting entries to get it completely accurate, and that's not reflected here.
Any other questions? You never know how much you miss somebody till they're not here. All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 1109-18004. Moved by Councillor Rose, seconded by Councillor McKay. Whereas Council has passed the bylaw 2018-08 establishing the Office of Integrity Commissioner and adopting a policy with respect to the actions of the Integrity Commissioner, and whereas it is recommended that the current Code of Conduct and Code Complaint process be updated, and whereas it is required that each municipality adopt a council staff relationship policy. And whereas council has its meeting of July 24th, 2018 adopted these documents by resolution. Therefore be it resolved that bylaw 2018 being a bylaw to adopt code of conduct, council staff relations policy and integrity commissioner inquiry protocol pre and post March 1st, 2019 for the Council of the United Townships at Clara, Mariah be read first time short and fast. Question? All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 1109-18-005, moved by Councillor McKay, seconded by Councillor Rose, subject off-road vehicle bylaw. Whereas council has an obligation to protect the health and safety of the public under the Municipal Act, and whereas many residents and visitors of Head Clara Mariah enjoy the use of off-road vehicles, and whereas council wishes to continue to permit the use of off-road vehicles, but in a safe and respectful manner, attempting to ensure the safety of riders and others alike. And whereas without a municipal ATV and or off-road bylaw, off-road vehicles are illegal on municipal roads. Therefore be it resolved that in order to permit off-road vehicles use a safe and controlled manner, and B, provide a document which Ontario Provincial Police and any municipal enforcement staff might use to enforce municipal rules. And the Council of the United Township of Head Clara Mariah does approve the attached bylaw number 2018-19 ATV and off-road vehicle bylaw as amended to become effective immediately upon final passing. And further, that its bylaw be read a first time this 11th day of September 2018.
So, no, I move to defer discussion on bylaw 2018-19 and bylaw 2018-20 till the first meeting of the newly elected council. If I could have a seconder.
To have it moved to the first meeting of the new council.
Correct.
Why?
This is giving them permission to use the roads.
Yeah, right now they can't use the roads.
So it's been that way forever, hasn't changed, didn't change from yesterday, won't change tomorrow. We have a bylaw that's not gonna get into a big long discussion of it, but it's got way too many rules.
I have an issue with a couple of the rules, but I don't have an issue with all of the rules. I would like to see a couple of changes made, but why can't we discuss that tonight?
So I have a motion to defer. If somebody will second, we will defer. If not,
Well, I
We'll
don't think you have
discuss, I
any
guess.
takers on deferring.
oh,
So I have a problem with a couple of the things that I would like to maybe see if we can come up with some different wording on. So where it says that we would require ATVs refrain from using gravel roads during spring thaw, I have a problem with that because a lot of people need to use the four-wheelers to access their property when they can no longer get in by snow machine, but it's still too early for a vehicle. So if you want to use your property at that time of the year, a lot of people have to travel a portion of the municipal road to get to an unmaintained road and then reach their properties. So I have a problem with that. And I also have an issue with the curfew from, well, built-up areas. I'm okay with 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. But that would only be in the built-up areas, the curfew?
That was the intent.
Okay, yeah, okay. So I'm fine with
as-
that.
As much as people want to be able to leave their house to go fishing, there are others who like to still be
Yeah.
sleeping and they don't.
And 7 a.m.'s pretty.
But I mean, define built-up areas.
What do we-
Yeah, I'm talking like we're
Exactly.
talking in the middle of a town or not.
Well, some machines go down the house 1 o'clock in the morning.
So there's a, if I may, Mayor.
Not everybody enjoy it.
So yeah, so I definitely would like to see something about the during spring thaw, because that leaves a large portion of the year when some of people can't then access their property.
I'd just like to clarify, this is a draft bylaw that's presented to be read the first
Yeah.
time. So yeah, so you decide on what changes you'd like to see, I will make those changes and bring it back later.
Definitely gonna have to be
I think
tweaked,
just
yeah.
the speed limits, and if anybody gets caught blowing donuts on
Yeah.
the township road, they should be given a
Yeah,
rake.
pretty much, and leave out the one about the spring thaw.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
we,
people
That
get up
out.
and go hunting at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah,
It's-
I for one.
You're not gonna trailer your ATV a half a
No.
mile to get you from your house to, say, the end of Mackey Creek Road or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then have to unload, you're gonna go right from home, we always did.
Yeah.
That's-
So take out those two.
So
Take up the
I'm
curfew.
hearing to.
I don't think we should remove the curfew.
In the built-up areas only you're talking, but then we'd have to be very clear about what we mean by built-up
Well,
areas.
yeah, I mean, you don't want people screaming through town here, but I don't want them racing up and down Edgewater at 2 o'clock in the morning either.
So, if people are out and they're attending a function in Mattawa or North Bay and they're traveling home and they're coming home at 2 o'clock in the morning, they're gonna break the bylaw to get home. If people are out on the trail and their machine breaks down and it takes them 6 hours to fix it, and they finally get it going, but oh my God, it's past midnight.
I think
I'm
that was
breaking
already
the bylaw.
spoken to in here about a breakdown or emergency.
So why do we
Yeah.
don't need to make this complicated. You have a speed limit of 20 kilometers an hour through town, follow the rules of the road, they will be enforced by the OPP, it can be that simple.
Yeah, because in the bylaw 2.8, it doesn't say in built-up areas, it just says that the operation of an ATV should not be permitted during the hours between 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. But it does say that in case of emergency parades and other events.
So from a drafting perspective, I'm hearing that 2.6 be eliminated entirely,
Yes,
okay?
as far as,
Yeah.
yeah.
And 2.8.
Yeah.
Revamped.
So, well, I guess so long as the speed limits are being enforced.
Force, then that should be a non-issue, I would think, 2.8.
So council needs to provide me direction there.
So do we need to vote on that section? Because I hear some people are for it, some people are against.
well, we'd have to vote for which option and what you want left in, what you don't want left in.
So that's it, it's section 2.8.
Yeah,
So I need
2.8 is the one
direction.
that we're discussing. So, do we vote on that then?
So you're voting on option 2.
2.8, the
Yeah.
curfew.
Okay.
Well, what are we voting? To take it out or leave it in, or to revamp the wording?
Don't forget, this is only a draft document, right?
Take it
I'd say
out?
Take it out.
Let's vote on taking it out.
I don't think we should take it out, but I do think we should reword it.
So in the snowmobile bylaw, they have 12 a.m. to 6 a.m., which is
Reasonable.
reasonable. I would consider doing 12 a.m. to 6 a.m. as another option, if you wanted to leave it in.
Unless in the case of an emergency.
Yeah.
Well, and that's
and
right there.
Yeah,
if you got somebody who's just tearing up and down the road because they know somebody lives there and they wanna be annoying, well, at least we got teeth that we can do something about it. Without it, you've got nothing.
To change it from midnight till 6 a.m.?
Yep.
Why don't you go
Vote on
5
that?
a.m. to cover the hunters?
Yeah, okay. 12 a.m. to 5 a.m.
So my preference would to see section 2 deleted completely, as well as section 3.
What?
Section 2.
2 and section 3,
All
you
the
would like to...
regulations, all the exemptions, and just go to enforcement.
What are you forcing? Besides the speed limit?
The Highway Traffic Act.
Yeah. Okay.
I still like 2.4 though, that no person shall drive an ATV upon any municipally owned or municipally maintained lands, use as parks, playgrounds, beaches, sports fields, or for utility purposes unless expressly permitted by municipality bylaw, save and except for the following: the gravel roadways in Old Mackey Park and the municipal boat launches, areas used as parking areas for other vehicles at the parks, boat launches, and municipal community center.
So what about in the spring, just for instance, when there's 200 feet of exposed shoreline, which is considered the beach, you can travel on an ATV for miles, you would say that that would become a...
No, in the part of Old Mackey where the beach is, yeah, but you're not the whole
You're on the beach.
entire,
Well, but it says beaches. So again, you want to make a law that's, yeah, you can do this, but...
Because our beach
in
gets
the
a
spring,
lot
you can't
bigger
do
in the
that.
spring, yeah.
So just take it out. You don't need it.
you need the part, because I don't agree with taking out the part where it says, so take out beaches then, if that's,
Respectfully, we have challenges at Old Mackey Park with people abusing the grass, with people
That's
knocking
what I'm
signs
thinking of.
down. It's happened quite often in the past, so to completely eliminate it, I
I'm
think
okay
is a
with-
mistake.
I'm okay with taking beaches if that's the way you wanna go, but I definitely don't wanna take out parks, playgrounds, sports fields, or, so then they can use the gravel roadways, at Old Mackey Park and the municipal boat launches, but I think we need to leave in parks, playgrounds,
Yeah, but
sports fields.
as a personal note, I don't know how many times I've chased four-wheelers out of the water at Mackey Beach when I had my boat in the water,
Yeah,
that I would physically have to come in, and they were,
Up the steps.
yeah, going up the stairs and turning around and you name it. But
No, sorry, I read that wrong. I think we should leave beaches in, because no one should be driving on the beaches.
so leave
If
in,
you're on the floodplain, you're not really on the beach anyway.
Let's be careful
But,
with
so I
so,
would differ.
okay,
As far as people driving on the grass at Mackey Park, I don't know how many times I've gone down there and people are parked in their vehicles all over the place. So if you're going to allow vehicles to drive on the grass...
nobody's allowing them, they just haven't been caught.
Well, so if vehicles are going to be allowed, wink, wink, on the grass, then so should ATVs.
So,
Yeah, but I mean, Teresa Cluche parks her Cadillac on the grass is not gonna leave a footprint like me blazing across in a 900 Razor.
Well, if you are careful, you wouldn't leave a footprint at all.
Yeah, but nobody goes out on their,
Oh, so you're not careful.
I'm saying nobody goes out on there to drive like you're going to Value Mart to get groceries.
so we need to vote.
We need
Yeah.
directions when we.
Yeah.
all right, so what am I hearing? Where's Calvin?
He just.
Okay.
No,
No.
So my preference is to remove section 2, section 3.
I'd like to hear what you have to say. Mayor, can we have a comment from
to
Mr.
attend a
Dowser?
meeting,
Only if there's 100%
No.
I agree.
It's not a campaign, it's a meeting.
Yeah, but maybe he's got some positive input, some solution we're not seeing. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
Perhaps you would speak up. I'm not sure people hear you.
I
Me?
said it's not a campaign, it's a meeting.
Ah, thank you.
Question's
Okay,
been
we're gonna
put
vote.
forward, Councillor Chartraw, that a member of the public would like to speak. It takes a unanimous vote from council to allow that.
That's,
Sure, I guess so.
Yes.
Yes.
no,
That's
That's that.
mute then, okay?
So we're going to vote on 2.4. I'm good with leaving it the way it is.
okay.
Well, I do see a problem with 2.4B. If I take my bike down, and I've only owned it for a couple of months now, but if I take my bike down to the park, I gotta park in the grass.
Well, really at Old Mackey's, everybody has to park on the grass.
Yeah,
That's
so-
all we have.
But it's a
Well,
parking area, there is a
Yeah.
designated
There is
parking
a
area.
parking
Yeah,
area
but
there.
it is grass.
Areas used as, it says,
It's an
it's except the
exemption.
following, you're allowed
It
to
allows
park.
that.
Okay,
It allows you to park in areas for other vehicles at the parks, boat launches, and municipal community center.
Right, so if a vehicle is parked on the grass, an ATV can also park on the grass.
Okay.
What we're trying to prevent is the ATVs
On the
going
sand.
across the grass at the park,
Yeah.
ripping up donuts like they've done in the past.
yeah, up and down the
That's
stairs.
why that exemption is there.
Like
So
the guy
at Old
after
Mackey
Canada
Park,
there?
at Old Mackey Park at Canada Day, when you have people parked everywhere, it would be the same thing for ATVs as for trucks, cars, anything else.
Yes.
So 2.4 is,
So, voting,
Any other changes to be made?
well, are we gonna vote on 2.4 first?
Oh, I thought we'd figure out what changes to be made, then that's our recommendation to council,
So is
or
it,
to staff.
right, so I think the question right now is, does the word beaches come out of there, is that correct?
no,
No,
The
no,
entire thing?
no, leave
No,
it.
leave it.
We're good with
That's
it.
what I'm
Leaving.
saying.
Yes.
So that's
we're
what
leaving
you're-
2.4.
Thank you.
Okay,
If you wanna access the river at some place else and drive up and down the river in the spring, there's lots of places to do it. You don't have to do it at Old Mackey Park, which is our only beach, as far as I know. We don't have one in Visits, we don't have one in Derby-Air, we have a boat launch in Derby-Air. The only thing we do have is Old Mackey Park. We don't need people out tearing up and down the stairs and putting ruts in the beach.
anything
Although
else?
it would be nice to get rid of the stones if they were so inclined, we could maybe stop and pick some.
Okay, so 2.6 then,
I
I
would
think
like
I've
to see it
heard
out.
majority that it's being removed,
Yes,
which means 2.7 is removed because that's an exemption for 2.6, which
Okay.
leaves you with 2.8 and your time.
I think we should take that out. You've convinced me.
okay.
Depending on how far a person's going, I mean, you can get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go hunting.
I agree
Well,
with taking it out.
legally hunting, you're hunting dusk to, or dawn to dusk.
Well, I think,
Yeah,
I think,
but
But you,
before.
you've
I
gotta
think-
have your travel time to get where you're gonna go hunt.
So I think take it out to 2.8 is out, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8.
Okay.
Are we all in agreement?
yeah, which would also mean we take out section 3, as per Councillor Villeneuve's suggestion.
3.1 and 3.2.
No,
No?
that still needs to stay. 3.1 and 3.2 are exemptions for some of the other things.
Parades and
Okay.
special events,
Yeah.
yeah,
On
okay.
certain locations. It doesn't have anything specifically to do with time, but with location as well.
Okay,
Okay.
So in case you wanted to do something on the ball field or
Right.
Yeah.
on the grass, it'll match.
with special permission.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything else?
So I just question why we need 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, since this is all pretty well covered under the Highway Traffic Act. Why do we need to repeat it? We just make more words in this document.
Well, it's all in one place for people to read then, instead of having to go to the Highway Traffic Act, which a lot of people wouldn't bother to do.
And if it's in our own bylaws, then we can refer to that.
It doesn't hurt to have it in there.
Yeah, we own it.
A municipal bylaw officer would have the authority to enforce the Highway Traffic Act, I don't believe.
They don't have the authority to do anything.
Well, they can enforce this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can answer one question that was already said the other day or a little while ago, fact at this table. You know, you see them pulling a donut, make them clean it up. Unless you get photograph proof and plate, you're out of luck. You got no proof who did it. So,
Same applies to an automobile.
yeah. But if you go to a cop and say, well, I know he did it, if you don't have physical proof, he's not gonna listen to you. So, anyways, anything else?
Let's put that to rest.
So for clarity, what is it we're taking out? Because I'm confused.
The minutes say direction to staff is to remove section 2.6, 2.7, and 2.8, and we do need a vote on that.
Yes. Now, can that be added to this?
That's your vote,
Yeah.
yeah. You've read that, so you.
So we'll put as amended?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Yes.
Carried?
Mayor, we'd also need to adjust Schedule A, the fine section, since we've eliminated prohibited times of the day, prohibited time of year.
That's a given.
That's part of the amendment we made.
Resolution 1109-18006, snowmobile bylaw. Council has an obligation to protect health and safety of the public under the Municipal Act, and whereas many residents and visitors to head Clara Mariah enjoy and use of snowmobiles, and whereas council wishes to continue to permit the use of snowmobiles, but in a safe and respectful manner, attempting to ensure safety for riders and general public alike. Therefore, it be resolved that in order to permit snowmobile use in safe and controlled manner, and to provide a document which Ontario Provincial Police and any municipal enforcement staff might use to enforce municipal rules, the Council of United Townships head Clara Mariah does approve the attached bylaw 2018-20, the snowmobile bylaw as amended to become effective immediately on final passing. And further, that this bylaw be read the first time this 11th day of September 2018.
Again, there's the time thing in here.
Yeah, that was my issue.
So I move to defer once again, if there's a seconder, to the newly elected council meeting of December.
So I'd also like to see 2.3 with the time restrictions.
There's a motion on the floor.
Oh, sorry, I didn't.
Is there a seconder for that?
No.
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 Okay, carry on.
2.3, I'd like to see the time restrictions also removed from this bylaw.
It's seen as their licensed vehicle and covered under the Highway Traffic Act. I mean, they've always been allowed on the roads anyway.
I think 2.2 could go as well, because if we're talking about municipal parks or trails, when they're covered with snow, it's not an issue. Also, section 5 penalty, I like this one.
I don't know who it is. It's not me.
Not this one.
Our mine's turned off.
Ouch.
Thank you.
Thank you. Who did something differently? That one's
That's
on?
the empty one?
Maybe that one.
Why all of a sudden?
No, it's off. The light's
No, the empty one.
Why did you just shut it off? Try it again slowly.
Hello?
Good?
Oh. Somebody's is too close together. Maybe Kathy move yours over. I don't know. It's gotta be it.
So as I was saying, section 5 penalty talks about the registered owner of a motorized snow vehicle shall incur the penalty provided for any contravention of this bylaw. So if I lent my snowmobile to my 38-year-old son and he took it out and breached the bylaw, I get the fine.
Well, I can identify your snowmobile by the number, but I can't identify the guy driving it with the helmet.
So why should it be me? I'm not driving the machine.
It
If
says
you lent your
without
car
the
to me,
owner's consent.
Yeah,
So
it's
it
Sorry.
says
without the owner's
Mayor,
consent.
without the owner's consent.
If you read further,
It does say without.
yeah,
the owner's consent.
what it says is, was in the possession of some person other than the owner without the owner's consent. That would mean he would have had to steal it.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
So if you had permission, if I lent you my car and you got in an accident, am I responsible for your driving? No.
Well, don't get too carried away, Ernie.
I'm not.
Counselor will want to. If your car goes down the 407, the car gets the bill,
Yes,
not the driver.
yes.
Okay.
Okay? If my dog bites you, I get the bill. The dog doesn't get the bill.
And if your car runs to stop,
Okay,
Okay, if I lend my snowmobile to you knowingly,
yes,
and you take it out and be a complete idiot,
you get the bill.
I get the bill. And
Why
then
is
I'll
that?
try and go after you for it. I'm the registered owner.
if you're on a red light with your vehicle in most cities, they get your plate, you get a ticket in the mail, you pay the ticket or you don't get plates. It's the same thing.
I'm just saying, this sounds like
works both
we're
ways.
making, like, I'm sure there is a law
Yeah.
somewhere else other than,
This,
that we can quote this?
This resolution was adopted by one from the city of Pembroke that was approved last year. So it's been properly vetted.
Okay, thank
I
you.
didn't make it up.
No, I didn't think you did.
And lots of times it's not easy to prove who was driving the machine. So if you just go after the registered owner, then it's up to the registered owner to go after the person he lent his machine to. We can't always be sure who was on the machine. So this is the way we're making sure somebody's held accountable. Okay, so
I think it's reasonable because, I mean, you can't always identify the driver of that vehicle.
Well, if I
Yeah.
come home in the middle of the night and there's a sled parked through my garage door
But nobody's
and
around.
nobody's around,
That's right.
the owner's gonna pay for it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Unless the owner says it was stolen.
Yeah.
Mayor Reed, can I just back up a little bit?
Yeah.
So when this was created, again, it was drafted with a Schedule A. I did not attempt to name any roads, so that's one thing that council is gonna provide direction on.
Okay.
Do you want some roads that are exempt, or do we just want it no Schedule A and it applies to everything? So just before you're finished, I just wanna make sure that's addressed.
Okay.
Well, they are licensed vehicles and covered under the Highway Traffic Act, so
Yeah.
they're allowed on any municipal
Any
road anyway,
municipal
so.
road, yeah.
Yep.
I don't
But a
think we need any
municipality
except.
can
Yep.
choose to
Yeah.
exclude them, so I just,
Let everybody enjoy
Yeah.
the
so
fun.
we're going
Yeah.
to take Schedule A completely out of this bylaw.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Yeah.
wanna,
Okay.
I wouldn't wanna deny anybody the use.
Yep.
And then 2.3, we still have to discuss the time.
I think we could, we could remove that.
Remove it.
I'm sorry, remove 2.3?
Remove 2.3.
The time.
The time.
Right.
So for 2.2, at Mackey Park, if people were to take their snowmobile down there to go ice fishing, they would not be able to cross that park without being in violation of the bylaw.
Yeah, I can see that. And if there's snow on the ground, they're not really tearing anything up.
Go down and off the boat launch, you know. Do they actually drive down the stairs?
Yeah,
Really?
four-wheelers too.
Well, I knew four-wheelers did.
So
I
which
think the issue
one
here
was
was
that?
pedestrian.
2.2.
So it was for areas that are used in the winter as well, and where, like in another, let's just say next year, somebody decides, and I know that, and I said that in my report, some of these things you may look at them and say, well, that doesn't apply to our community. The issue is it doesn't apply right now.
No.
But at some point, somebody may come to you and say, can we put a sidewalk in along XYZ road? So you need to prepare your bylaws looking into the future. So if this was changed similarly, again, the park, there's no danger using that park because it's closed in the winter time. So yeah, the word municipal park could come out of it
Yeah.
right now.
Or
But
have-
it does have the caveat of pedestrian.
That's
that-
what we're
Yeah,
looking
leave the
For all of it,
pedestrian
or-
walkway,
Right.
but take out municipal park.
Or maintained,
Well, why not
a
just take it
maintained
out
municipal park.
and you can change the bylaw as things develop?
Or just leave, no person shall operate a motorized stone vehicle on any pedestrian walkway. I mean, that's common sense, that should be in there.
Well, if we had everybody common sense, wouldn't have bylaws.
Yeah. Open space area, I'm not sure what that would be.
So after 2.2, just stop at walkway.
Yeah, just stop at walkway.
Okay.
Anything else?
Good with that.
So I just put as amended September the 11th, 2018. All in favor?
So Mayor Reed, I'd like to have a repeat back of what we are actually voting on at this point. What are we taking
You-
out?
You're voting on the actual resolution?
So
minus 2.2, minus 2.3,
parts of 2.2.
oh yeah, parts of 2.2, stopping at pedestrian walkway,
Yeah.
open space, municipal park trail, and other within the municipality's been stricken out. And 2.3, no person shall operate a motorized vehicle on prescribed route at certain times.
And Schedule A
And Schedule A.
is removed.
That comes out with
Mhm.
2.1 and 2.3.
Okay.
And what about section 5.1?
I believe that should stay.
Yes. I vote stays.
Anything further? So that's how it will be voting upon, that we were moving part of 2.2, all of 2.3. Section A, obviously, all, Schedule A comes out,
2.1.
yeah. And the rest remains the same.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Recorded vote, please.
Councillor Chartrand?
Yes.
Councillor McVeigh?
Yes.
Mayor Reed?
Yes.
Councillor Rose?
Yes.
Councillor Villeneuve?
No.
Okay. Resolution 1109-18-007, Election Compliance Audit Committee, where the municipal election, moved by Councillor McKay, seconded by Councillor Rose, where the Municipal Elections Act 1996 legislates that each municipality shall appoint an elections compliance audit committee. And whereas 2014 upon request for candidates, we received but one response for our representatives on a joint committee with Laurentian Hills and Deep River. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of United Townships head Clara Mariah does hereby adopt bylaw 2018-21, being a bylaw to adopt an elections compliant audit committee for the corporation of the term of council beginning December of 2018, as read a first time short and passed this 11th day of September 2018. Any discussion?
Well, there was no interest before, and we have E4M for the other stuff. It kind of makes sense to go with them, and they know what they're doing, and they're good at what they do, so,
And they know us by now.
yeah, they're well aware of what goes on here, so.
All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Okay. Accept the report of the action plans for Algonquin Trail update.
It's just information.
Yeah, okay. And accept the report and action plan provided by Wishart.
And I think
No, we got the waste management bylaw. Oh, I jumped
There's-
ahead,
yeah.
I jumped ahead, sorry. Yeah. I jumped ahead here, my fault, sorry.
I think that Peggy and Paul may speak to this.
Okay. Resolution number 1109-18-008. Legal counsel report and recommendations. Whereas council has received training and authorized staff to provide documentation to Wishart and E4M for review concerning recent council and council staff relations. And whereas the municipality has recently contracted with Wishart Law Group for legal services and EM4, who have been charged with providing advice to I'll get it. It's been a long day, sorry guys, I've been in the bush. Facilitate council moving forward in a cohesive manner. Therefore, be it resolved that Council of the United Townships of Head Clara Mariah does hereby accept the resulting report and recommendations and direct staff to implement the same as soon as possible.
May I read? Peggy, were you going to speak to this? No?
No.
We're good now, okay.
We have copies of it, so. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution number 1109-18-009, moved by Councillor Rose, seconded by Councillor McKay. Legal counsel report and recommendations. Whereas expertise for municipalities has been already spent considerable time reviewing our situation and providing advice for council to follow moving forward. And whereas they and Wishart Municipal Law Group have been hired by this municipality to provide legal and various other professional services for the municipality, including acting as an integrity commissioner. Therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the United Townships of Head Clara Mariah does hereby authorize the clerk and mayor to contract with E4M to work with council and staff to implement the action plan presented at the July 24th meeting of council and approved by council today. Any discussion? All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution number 1109-18-010, moved by Councillor McKay, seconded by Councillor Rose. waste management bylaw. Whereas the waste management bylaw was passed in 2012 and requires regular review. And whereas the concerns with some practices have been raised by staff, therefore be it resolved that the Council of United Townships of Head Clara Mariah does hereby agree to eliminate the fee for acceptance of white goods at the municipal disposal site unless they are required processing prior to being removed by the scrap metal processor. Eliminate the fee for acceptance of contaminated soil suitable for top cover at the sites unless the site has to be opened to accommodate the contractor's schedule. Anything else?
I had one suggestion to be added to. I would like to see, we did in the past have a waste management committee, and I'd like to see another one formed with maybe residents, municipal staff like Bill Donnelly and maybe one other staff member, and council members and representatives from local business, so that we can regularly review the bylaw and make a report to council. So can we add that in, if everybody's in agreement?
I would think that would be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
It hasn't been reviewed since 2012, and in the original report, the committee itself recommended that some sections of it be reviewed after 1 year and other sections after 2 years, and this is 2018 and nothing's been done, so.
You want to add that to the
Okay.
other? Here's what was added in the other. Foreign Waste Management Committee comprised of residents, Bill Donnelly, staff, 1 or 2 council members, and representatives from local businesses to regularly review bylaw and report to council. Anything further? All in favor?
Yes.
Carried. Addendum new business. Resolution number 1109-18-011, Moved by Counselor Rose, seconded by Counselor McKay. Closed session. Whereas the Municipal Act allows for closed meetings under Section 239, therefore be it resolved that this meeting go into in-camera session at 20:56. Hours to discuss personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal and local employees under Section 239 2B. All in favor?
Mayor Reed, if we could take a quick break before we go into closed session?
Yes.
We need to take the vote first.
Pardon?
The vote
The
first.
vote.
Well, yeah, the vote's on the floor, so.